This is the 19th season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, Aftco, Pro Guide Batteries, X-Zone Lures, Shoreline Boat and RV Repair, Spro, Gamakatsu, Big Bite Baits, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. And yes, the godfather of BTL in studio for the first time in studio.
Yeah, and I really thought that you would have said we're going to talk about bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about.
We did that for 17 years, and then you had a year and a half where we don't say that anymore. You know why? Because we mainly talk about bass fishing.
Not tonight.
I was going to open up the show letting you know that there is an air quality alert for the city of Shawnee, and that it is currently 84 degrees and partly cloudy with a 20% chance of storms.
Weather. You had to touch on the weather, man. You know, a few storms rolling in. Hopefully things will be good tonight for no, it's not Mark After Dark, but
hopefully it won't be
kinda
dark by the time we finish, because we're reaching that
it
time
might.
of the
We have
year.
a lot to talk about, dude.
We are. I kind of pumped this show before. We're going to talk about all things that Mark may or may not know about in the industry.
There's a lot I don't know.
Over the last,
A lot I do know.
I say over the last month, there's just been an explosion of chaos and controversy. I mean, it's all like minor. When you look at the grand scheme of things in life, you know what I mean?
I heard
like
you got in a throwdown.
No, I did not get into throwdown. That's
no
not
throwdown?
at all how it went down.
Okay.
That's how salacious rumors start in the bass fishing industry.
All
If
right.
you watched the episode with Ben Milliken, we actually worked it out like men.
Well, I was glad that he was on the show. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that was cool
Yeah.
that he came back on though.
Yeah.
He has a legion of fans that are very opinionated.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's good. That's
but
what
you need
want.
to tell everybody what you're going to do tonight, because, dude, I got stuff I want to get into with you already.
Yeah, we already have a bunch of stuff that went down today. There's two things that went down today, one in the golf world, one in the bowling world, that there could not be a better day to have you in studio.
I don't know if we'll get into the bowling thing. But
No,
the
we're
golf
going to get
thing,
into the bowling thing.
Definitely
and
going to get
golf
into the
thing.
golf
All right, we
thing.
do have three major giveaways tonight. I talked about it last week. We had a show on the collaboration between Kevin Brightwell, I believe. Yeah, Kevin Brightwell from KGB, Sid Reeves from Spro. They were on, talked about the collaboration between the KGB Chad, and Spro. Actually have those in our, that's not the one I'm giving away. The one that I'm giving away. That one's going to you, Falla. That is a threadfin shad colored Chad, as promised. We're giving it away tonight. Have you seen one of these yet?
I have not. No.
Look at this.
Hey, by the way, if everybody sees me looking at the phone, that's how I'm looking at the comments,
because I don't have the.
You haven't figured out how to do it.
No,
and when
I
I
have
got
to.
here today, I showed you how to do
Okay,
it.
look at that. That's the Spro version, and I didn't have this last time because I'll get the real version. No, the Spro version is the real version. It's just the
What's it called?
Spro KGB Chad 180, which I believe means it's like 180 millimeter.
Okay.
And then this is what it's based on. That is an original KGB Chad that retails. I think he sells
How much?
Like 150, 160, I think. This was like a $200 version. This was from
Let me see
Baitworks.
that. $150?
I think it's almost a $200 version there.
Do you use this?
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah, you don't follow me on Instagram?
Dude, I don't
I
follow
stuck one
anybody
through
on
my
Instagram.
finger at Toledo
Oh,
Bend.
that's what you stuck on your finger?
That hook right there was the hook that
Really?
was through my finger.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. So what kind of line do you throw with this?
20-pound fluoro. Some guys throw, but anyway, we're going to be, for one of the comments, let me see one of those.
All right.
This is the first time that I've been able to do this on the screen, which is show the two. That's the Spro at the top.
That's pretty cool looking. Very cool.
Very cool.
I'd never throw it.
Very cool. So we will not be giving away this one. This one, I'm actually like renting this one from my buddy Juice. I went through the whole
You're renting
before.
it. Rent a lure.
He couldn't have them sent to his house because his wife would be like, hey, what are these? And I wasn't in the market at the time that they were available to drop $500 on some swim bait. So the deal was we send it to your house, you use them during the opens, and then give them back to me. Well, now I've made some better financial decisions, so now I'm in the market for the KGB.
So,
but now I've also got the Spro, so I'm flush.
Okay, so the one that you put through your thumb or finger or whatever, how many fish have you caught on that? How many?
I don't know, like 10.
How big?
Keep it in a gun case. No, look. I mean, I've caught them up to about 5 pounds. It's not a numbers. I mean, it is a numbers bait. It's whenever the time is right.
So very time specific.
Yes, we're also giving away 6 packs of.
I'm trying to talk fish in here
of the X Zone Stealth Invaders. These are cool new baits. We're going to be giving away those towards the end of the show, and we're going to just do random intelligent questions or comments. Makes sense? And then we'll just randomly
the
select.
YouTube page.
Yeah, on the comment section. Like if I want people that are actively interacting with the show, not just posting like one
engagement.
Word. Entertain, educate, and engage.
All right.
And then finally, this is the one that we're excited about here. This is the new Denali Novus Pro Reel that we're giving away.
Let me see that.
They're real.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, no, they just came out on the 15th. This is the Elite. Big shout out to Brian Head from Denali for hooking that up for us.
Nice.
And we'll be giving away one of those reels towards the end, and we'll kind of do it in that order.
6-3 to 1.
I believe that's slow? A 7-1 to 1. I think the just the Novus original is the only one that comes in a lower.
Do you ever use anything 6 to 1?
No, but I was going through my garage, and you had given me. This was way back in the day, and I came across an old green Corrado, and it was
those things are priceless.
Jeez, that's
don't break
priceless it now. See, like new. That is the first reel that they've come out with. You had given me way back in the day, so it'd have been 2007, I think.
Long time ago.
A 3-8 to 1.
Oh yeah. You know what they used that for back in the day, and maybe somebody out there
no one uses
solidify
a 3-8 wiggle wart, and I'm thinking,
yeah, that's what it was. It was a big wiggle wart.
I don't even know how that would be a functional reel in today's fishing
it was like
world.
this. I mean, that bait was like this, dude, and you couldn't find them. You couldn't find them anywhere.
3-8 to 1 though.
Yeah.
So how did you reel in a fish after you hooked it? That's my problem.
That was the big challenge.
Because I mean, the thing doesn't even.
You gotta
move.
hook them to reel them in.
If
man.
you watch the worm gear at the top, you're like that. Like I mean, you're really going to town on it, Mark.
But you're not making massive casts with that wiggle wart, though. I mean, you're not casting like a Carolina rig.
But a 3-8 to, I mean, I don't even know how you get the bait down, because especially if you're going towards the bait, towards the lure.
It was the movement that was created using that low ratio reel that was enticing. That was the whole deal, man.
I haven't. Oh, that was a mistake, because these are in bubble wrap. Someone's gonna get a janky tail. But look at this little number now from the X Zone. Look at that one, Mark.
What's that? Oh,
for up north, like a little.
Oh. Yeah, that's in your lane right there.
That is in my lane.
Huh.
Big shout out to Jim from X Zone for sending those packs of X Zones too.
What's that color?
This color is.
It's got like a red kind of orange flake in it.
If you guess this color, I'll give you $100 right now. I'll give you 3 guesses. There, let me hold it up, and I'll give you 3. Not people on the show, just Jeffries, and you can't look at the comments.
No, I haven't even seen it before. 3 guesses.
You get 3 guesses.
If
you get it right, I'll give you $1,000 live cash on the show. I'll give you $1,000 live cash on the show if you can guess this color in 3 guesses. I
okay, let me
swear
see
to
here. Carrot shell.
No, although very, very unique guess.
Well, it's got to be something that is obscure.
Yes,
kind of off the wall. Let's see here. Orange Genie.
You're getting dangerously close, but no, that's not it.
That's 2 good guesses. All right. Third one, Sparkle Halo. Orange Sparkle Halo.
I like your guesses. The name of that color is Psychedelic Mandarin.
Oh, good grief. I wasn't even close.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think I put $1,000 up?
I thought those were good guesses, though. Orange cream. Interesting.
All right. Here's what we have on the docket for tonight. We have Bernie versus Coupal. We have the Keith Poche stuff, Mosley winning the Elites, Live Golf, PGA Tour sponsorships, the Opens, OU softball, and the BPT going on. Where do you want to start?
Well, you forgot one thing, and I don't know if you've watched any of it. And like I said earlier, yeah, we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. I cannot believe you haven't brought this up. Dude, have you watched the first 2 games of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Yeah, it's been a absolute dominating performance by the
very
Vegas
entertaining,
Golden
though.
Yes.
Extremely entertaining. It's going to be interesting to see if the Panthers can come back on home ice. But I'm impressed that you've even watched that with everything that you have going on.
I watched game 1, and then I watch you can watch like a half-hour recap that shows all of the key saves, the plays, all the odd man breaks, and the analysis. So that's what I watched for game 2.
The hit on Engel. Did you see that last night? The hit?
Yeah, on Eichel? Jack Eichel?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Eichel. And then he came back and had a really good assist to an open man in the slot.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with the hit.
No, it was a clean hit.
Yeah.
But I think
knocked him silly.
I think Vegas gets the first cup in 5.
I'm impressed that you're doing that. All right, now let me tell you about my routine. And for those people that have watched this show over the years, my routine was very simple when we were doing the show in the mornings. I'd get up, I'd have breakfast. What would I watch? Do you remember what I would watch? No. You don't remember. You have no idea.
The news.
No. I'd watch CNBC. Okay.
I had the loop music going for the first 15 minutes. We've been talking to background music.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't have my headsets on.
Oh, well, anyway.
It's all
right. So CNBC, that was my routine. My routine has not changed, even though what I'm involved with now obviously has changed. So this morning, I'm eating my strawberry Cheerios, or strawberry banana Cheerios, I think is what it is.
Okay.
And it's about 10 to 9. The market is open. Things are going okay. Friday was an incredible day, and things kind of sputtered along on Monday. Well, anyway, all of a sudden they do their breaking news music, and they have the breaking news graphic that comes up on the television. And David Faber, who has been on CNBC forever, says, we have breaking news. We just received word that the LIV Tour and the PGA are going to merge. And I about fell out of my chair. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And AJ just happened to be at home because he was going to play golf, and he stopped by. And I go, what is today? Is today April 1st? That's got to be April Fool's. There's no way that those two entities are merging. They hate each other. They can't stand each other. They're suing each other. They're doing all kinds of stuff trying to outdo each other. And then they said, hey, we're going to have an interview later on with a senior level manager of the LIV Tour and the PGA. And dude, I was shocked. And I think it is one of the most riveting developments in sports in a long, long time. Now, granted, is there millions, maybe even billions of dollars involved in this? Absolutely. But hate is a strong word. The hatred that went on between these organizations. And oh, by the way, all right, how do you think that Greg Norman's social media was doing today?
Yeah, I don't know how much
up?
I don't think he's really thrilled with this because I believe in the interview that I saw, they did not really put their
silence.
Yeah. Silence.
Okay, so obviously, having been in this game, covering this game for so many years, the first thing I thought of was what?
The MLF and Bassmaster.
Exactly.
Major League Fishing and Bassmaster, the split that took place following the 2018 season, started in 2019. Very similar on a smaller dollar scale.
Well, a lot smaller.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking billions.
To what happened at golf. You had a lot of the top pros that went to MLF. It created some divisive factor.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about loyalty, a lot of talk about tradition. MLF,
there's guys upset right now.
MLF, if you remember, I mean, dude, this is when BTL like blew up. We'd been doing the shows, but we were still primarily tournament coverage. And when it came along, I mean, had the kind of the catbird seat where all this went down. And that's when the numbers started skyrocketing because everyone wanted to know about it. Just like I went on Foreplay Golf and watched their emergency podcast that went down. But the similarities are insane. MLF enticing, no entry fees, huge payouts. You can jump in the water. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can go wherever. There's no takeoff. We take off at 10. We weigh in at 8. Money everywhere. Everyone's happy. This is the biggest thing ever. And then you had the traditionalists that were there with Bassmaster. It's the same thing on LIV. LIV, L-I-V, is actually the Roman numeral for 54. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
And 54 holes is how many they play. They take off. It's a party. You hear the music in the background.
Cuts.
No
guys
cuts
are wearing
on the
shorts.
team. Everybody has it. People who've gone says it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Other people in the traditionalists are like, no, you need to be grinding out PGA Tour wins. It's the same dang thing.
And now all of a sudden, not on ESPN, not even on the Golf Channel, do you have this breaking news, but on the financial news kind of HQ for business. And I flipped over to ESPN, nothing. Flipped over to the Golf Channel, nothing. Looked at social media, nothing. It was only on CNBC. So obviously the first thing that I thought of was exactly what you talked about. So I think the thing that I did a lot of on the show when I was on the show regularly, I like to take things and compare it back to bass fishing. Agreed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was one of the things with my background and everything that I was involved in. So what do you think I did today? Any idea?
No.
I reached out to some people.
Oh, you did because you knew you were going to be on the show tonight?
Well, I thought it might add a little bit. Now,
I'm going to have to remix this entire show. Your vocal range is just all over.
No.
I am not kind of turned down, so I hopefully don't have to every single time you talk. But I forgot how loud your voice is.
I'm very loud.
It's a very loud voice.
Yeah, I'm very loud. Anyway,
I've got you turned down more. I'm hoping that I'm not going to be here till 2 remastering this show.
You'll be fine.
I feel like you're doing that on purpose.
One of the premises that I always had on this show was, look, if you're going to say something, do the research, don't speculate, find out exactly what's happening before you come out with any statement or news or whatever, the true journalistic approach to this game. Well, I was intrigued by this whole LIV thing.
All right.
So I reached out to some people and people who I consider friends, both on the BASS side and on the MLF side.
Are we talking anglers or are we talking
I'm talking
suits? Anglers or suits?
Anglers and suits.
How about anglers who potentially wear suits? Any of those?
He might wear a suit, but I don't know when. Okay. I'm not sure how many times he wears a suit, but anyway. And I just wanted their take, not from initially the fishing perspective of MLF and bass, but what their thoughts were on the merger between the PGA and the LIV golf thing. And most of them already knew about it and they knew why I was calling.
Okay.
All right. And the response that I got back from those individuals is they were shocked that it did happen, that the LIV and the LIV Tour and the PGA merged.
The fishing community people were
very surprised. They're very knowledgeable about golf. It's not somebody that doesn't know what the PGA is and what the LIV Tour is and all that. They're very knowledgeable of the tension between the two organizations. And I said, look, bottom line, I said, right now, right at this moment, let's 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, could you see this happening between Major League Fishing and BASS?
You're talking, let's just lay it out flat. MLF and Bass joining forces, combining.
And
Would it be a buyout? Would it
reasons.
be Bass buying MLF or MLF buying Bass? One of the versa or merging. This is a merger, right? Not a buyout.
There are a lot of reasons to do this. All right. There really is. And a lot of it is from the business perspective.
Wait, are you talking about a buyout where
Not talking about a
MLF
buyout.
buys Bass or Bass buys MLF?
It's not what I'm talking about.
Because this seems to be a merger.
This is a merger. This is where you get individuals from both entities. You get them at the table. You start talks. You don't get down to the clear details because there's a lot of unknown right now with the LIV and the PGA merger.
The way I understand it, LIV and the PGA didn't merge. It was LIV's parent company that merged with
and they're creating
PGA.
Their own entity for
and there's
profit.
Supposedly going to be both LIV still and the PGA Tour.
The PGA Tour is still going to keep their non-taxable
Okay,
status
so you're
or whatever.
talking about a merger between.
So I'm talking about both parties. Both have representatives from both organizations sitting down at the table and working out a deal to where both entities work it out to where there's a true merger, and there's only one organization from a professional and let's call it a amateur perspective in the professional fishing world. And every single one of them said it could happen. Probably won't happen.
Really?
But it could happen. Now, is that gray? Yeah, and you've talked about a lot of gray areas here lately. It is very gray. But out of these people that I spoke with, nobody flat out came out and said there's no way in hell that's going to happen.
That it is or isn't?
That it's going to happen. That it isn't going to happen.
Well, now I'm confused.
Okay, nobody denied that it wasn't going to happen. Does that make sense?
There wasn't anybody who put their feet in this.
Yeah,
in
there's no
dirt.
way in hell that's ever going to happen. What I'm saying is 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, this thing that just took place today is groundbreaking from a business merger perspective because in the sporting world, you've never had two entities that have hated each other. And hate is a very strong word.
The MLF
dude.
Bass was pretty good.
There was a lot of hate going on there.
Okay, let me ask you this. We're talking the Saudi back league with billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts.
From a financial perspective,
you're out
you
of
can't
this
compare
game.
it.
Just speculate a guess. This is pure hypothesization. What the hell do you think Bass or MLF are worth? Like, what type of money are we talking about for a merger, a buyout stuff? I've always wanted to know this. I've just never.
Here's how I'm going to respond to that, Matt. And I actually got into a conversation with a professional in the industry who is a financial manager in the industry. I guess that's the best way, like
You've
a
been
controller.
Snooping around in the,
Dude,
the dark shadows of professional bass
by this
fishing.
whole thing. All right. And here's the conclusion that we both kind of discussed is there strength when you have a single entity? In other words, to be able to position your media offerings from a single media element rather than trying to get it into a situation where you're competing and it becomes major fragmentation due to the fact that you have multiple entities. And we haven't even talked about the third one, you know? Is the third one even around still?
Yeah, the MPFL is going strong.
I didn't know.
It's going strong. They just had their, I think.
And that's no disrespect. That's just me not knowing.
Third tournament of the season on Santee Cooper. Patrick Walters won the event, running away fashion. They're doing some unique stuff
to this
with new live streaming technology.
Whatever.
And stuff.
All right. The feasibility.
Come on.
The feasibility of being able to position your product
right
with the strength and the visibility that you have in creating one single entity, I think is more powerful than the atmosphere of competition where everybody's kind of fighting for the same piece of the pie. Here's why, dude. It's because both of those organizations survive specifically on the endemic sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you think Bass survives more on endemic than MLF?
Yes.
I feel like MLF has more non-endemics.
Yeah, but you know, how many people truly know what that deal is? and how much of that has been positioned based upon the relationships that have been in place by individuals that have had relationships with these non-endemics forever because of what they've done outside of bass fishing.
So what would a merger between MLF and BASS look like?
One single entity.
Would there be one tournament trail?
One tournament trail. I think it's the perfect situation to have what I believe, all right, once again, just my opinion, what I believe is you need to have
like the Bass Pro Elite,
a true defined entry to be at the top level of this sport. In other words, it is not defined by just, having a supplemented jersey and you say you're a professional bass angler.
Okay.
No, you have one tour that everybody strives for.
Did we not talk about this with this level of interest for 20 years when we had the FLW tour, which was the top level there? Yeah. It was the exact same payouts, the exact same entry fees. It was actually higher. They gave up $1 million for 3 or 4 years. And the Elite Series, it started in 2006. So from 2006 through 2018 through 2019, so 16 for 13 years, we had 2 competing tours at the top.
Yeah.
Why was there not a talk about how, there's not enough split of the pie for the 2 and all that? Why is it now the talk?
2 reasons.
When MLF is when the BPT is around versus the Elite Series. Dude. And those 2 seem to, although they weren't like best friends, they seem to peacefully somewhat coexist.
It was 2 reasons. All right. 2 reasons. One, egos. All right. And the second thing was agendas, because they both were trying to gain profitability. Why do you think ESPN bought Bass to begin with? Because they thought that they could make money with it. Why do you think they sold it?
It wasn't making money.
Because it wasn't making any money, and they were slicing and dicing all over the place.
So I don't know how deep we want to get into this.
Not much. I mean, I think it is imperative that if you don't know anything about golf, this situation that took place today is groundbreaking. It really is. And the comparisons, not from a financial perspective, but from an element perspective.
Yeah.
Can you see this happening within the next within the next 5, within the next 10 years?
Was this a sign that the PGA Tour was struggling, or that LIV was struggling, or that both were struggling, or that neither were struggling?
Neither.
Okay.
You know what this was? This was 2 very, very smart groups that saw what they could do together from a financial perspective and decided, you know what, this is a really, really good situation for both of us. For what do I always talk about, or what did I always talk about? You got to do what's best for the anglers. You got to do what's best for the company. You got to do what's best for the sponsors. You got to do what's best for the fans. You take care of those 4 things and still put your company in a position to where you can make a ginormous amount of money, which that is what they're going to do.
Do you think there's even the possibility to make a ginormous amount of money in the fishing industry?
No. And I mean, history has shown that because of the lack of non-endemics getting involved. Here's the other thing. You could go to a New York or an LA ad agency, and the first thing they're going to ask is, all right, what's your distribution? And they look at what the true meaning of impressions and engagement and all the statistical data that are in the millions with all the other professional leagues. It's not going to happen. The money's just not there.
It's interesting. I still can't. I mean, dude, these guys, we're 5 years in and they're still taking shots at each other. Bass DQs Keith in the Open, and MLF comes out on their social media with this petty post about like 4 minutes of highlights of Keith Poche doing sketchy stuff and about how it's welcome over there. Keith Poche running stuff, Keith Poche jumping stuff.
But anyway, I'm glad that we're able to talk about it. It was kind of weird timing, but yeah, I about fell out of my chair this morning when that hole went down. Now, could something happen? I don't know. It was really interesting conversations that I had with multiple people today. That wasn't really, we really didn't talk a lot about the fishing industry. We talked about the meaning of these two entities getting together, and would there ever be a possibility that could happen in the fishing world?
I'm not sure what this means, but it sounds educated.
What?
Outside of one of the organizations struggling, what situation do you think can be the catalyst to making financial sense, to make financial sense for both organizations? In other words, what is it going to take for these serious conversations? What is going to be the trigger
That's
point?
A great question. I don't think I have the answer, but imagine this, Matt. What if you had the endemics that are really the lifeblood of both of these organizations finally come to the table and go, look, guys, all right, we're not giving you any money, and we're not giving you any money. You guys need to sit down with us along with Company A and Company B and Company C that are all endemic sponsors, and we need to come together to where we build this into one.
Do you think it's necessary? Like, I don't think that's a good idea right now. I don't want to see that happen. I like the elites where it is. I like the BPT where it is. We're 5 years in. Freaking have at it. I want to go watch KVD catch 28 pounds on Cayuga. I want to watch Brock Mosley freaking win with 43 pounds on the Sabine. Keep your separate ways. You all said your piece. You got a whole group of guys who are going to be freaking retiring in 3 to 5 years anyway. They'll get their piece. They're a part owner of it. Yeah. Look at how many of these young guys, Brock Mosley being one of them, that we've seen come up on the Elite Series and get their chance. They seem to be thriving. There's still 5,000 people showing up to the Elites. They're still doing whatever the hell they want to do over at MLF. All Why right. would you get them together and then go through another 3 years of crap and turmoil?
Let me ask
and
you
then
a question.
Now you're going to cheapen the Classic because you're going to bring MLF stuff in and all of their ideas.
The Classic will always
their
be the Classic,
stuff,
dude.
And then the Elite Series isn't going to have the opportunity. And I think it's just going to be a freaking gray water then for another 3 years when we finally get it separated and clean now.
Time out. All right, time out. Think about this. The scale of earnings with professional anglers compared to professional golfers, it's not even the same freaking room.
No.
All right. But what if you get to the point to where in the fishing aspect from a professional standpoint that you don't have just the 10%ers? In other words, you could create an entity to where it makes it better from a financial perspective for the anglers. In other words, you don't just have 10% of the anglers out there having six-figure incomes. Because wouldn't you agree that's kind of the goal for every professional angler out there is, man, if I can get to that six-figure income, then I've made it. Agree or disagree?
I mean,
from a financial perspective, I'm not talking about a lifestyle perspective, dude.
I mean, if you're making $100,000, if you're
making $100,000 as a professional angler only from fishing, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
So what if you could change that number from 10% of the people that do it to 40%?
That would depend on the product that they're able to produce with it. We need to take our first break of the show. Mark Jeffries in studio, first time in studio from the Shawnee, Oklahoma location.
Oh, it's
you like what I've done with the place?
It's outstanding.
You like what I've done with the place?
Man. You did good.
I mean, I had to call you.
Mad props.
I actually called Mark last week. I ran into a storage issue and then had to rip an MP3 and had a little glitch with it and had to call Mark. But other than that, man, it's been like over a year since I've called with anything. I mean, I kind of got the thing dialed in. Except, like I said, we ran.
So before we go to break real quick, I mean, I'm scrolling through these. Are people disagreeing with me? Are they agreeing with you? What are they doing?
It's a lively chat.
Okay.
It's a lively chat. I think people see
both.
People see both sides of it. Like there is no like us. It's not
There's
a versus.
No right
We're
or
not
wrong.
like disagreeing with each other here.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't want to see the product get screwed up.
No, the product's got to get
over
better.
Money.
The product's got to get better.
And I could see the product getting screwed up over chasing the almighty dollar. Like, listen.
Sometimes it happens.
It's interesting. The LIV thing, I've seen so many of the guys going, man, the guys who chase the money are getting handsomely rewarded now.
Yeah.
Because they chase the money and now they're.
You do know a lot of people they're pissed off.
Yeah.
A lot of the PGA guys are really upset about this whole thing. So I don't know, man. It's going to be fascinating to watch from a business perspective.
It is BTL at night on a Tuesday. Mark Jeffries in studio, June 6th, 2023. We will be back. We'll tackle a couple more of these hot button issues, and then we will get into the evening giveaways. The Denali Novus Pro, the X Zone Stealth Invaders, and look at these. You haven't seen these. I forgot to show you these before the show. No, that one's never been open. That one won't get open. These are the production runs of the second production runs of the Color 7. Do not put that through your finger.
No. Man, anyway, Frank, I've caught fish on this.
Yeah, no, guys have been posting on social media and the Instagrams about catching fish on. All right, BTL on Tuesday. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
Everything you need, one legendary brand. Top on Strike King.
So I'm a big guy, a lunker, a two-sandwich eating kind of man. And on behalf of all of those bigger, I gotta say it once and for all, it's bad enough that the fish look smaller in our hands. The last thing we should have to worry about is getting quality outdoor clothing that fits. AVCO, any fish, any water.
Elite Series Pro Daryl Gleason here. My Pro Guide batteries keep me going on those long tournament days and long practice days. Always plenty of juice, never fail. The best part about Pro Guide batteries, it's the people behind the company. They have over 40 years experience in the battery business, keeping all of us fishermen out on the water longer, catching more fish. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
What's up, Bass Talk Live fans? Brandon Polnick here. And ever since I won a couple Bassmaster Elite Series events on X Zone Lures, I've been getting a bunch of questions of what makes them so special and different. And really, the truth is, it's in the details. The little details, things like no cheap fillers in their plastic. That gives you more lifelike action, more realistic and vibrant colors. But don't just take my word for it. Go to www.xzonelures.com and check them out for yourself.
All right, welcome back, BTL on a Tuesday. Almost screwed the pooch up that one.
Do you have the music going?
Yeah, I got the music going. BTL on a Tuesday. A lot of good feedback, a lot of good comments and instant feedback. Educated comments is what I like.
Yeah, I scrolled through them during the break, and big thank you to all the people out there that are liking me returning for a few minutes.
Fishing Adventure answered, how do you enter the giveaway? So you've entered the giveaway if you're commenting. I don't do the fancy random picker. I'll just scroll back and through, and if there's a comment that catches my mind. So if you've left a comment at the beginning of the show, you're still good. You're still in it for the end.
Yeah. All right, man. What else? What else you got on that list?
Yeah, we talked about that. I do want to mention tomorrow morning, I will be in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Shoreline Boat and RV, one of the new on-location features of BTL, talking with Shoreline Tulsa GM Brock Enmeyer about all things fiberglass gel coat, getting your boat back in top shape, insurance issues, storage issues, winterization, all that type of fun stuff that no one really has to want to deal with, but then are glad that they dealt with it when it gets done.
Yeah.
Timothy would like to know how many you caught on the Color 7.
I don't know, probably 10, 15. Something like that.
You've been going down to Texoma a fair amount.
I've been fishing quite a bit. In fact, this week is the first week that I haven't been on the water. And Texoma has been really weird for me. I love fishing down there. I know you tear that place up with your little dink and dunk, but I like to go all over the place and try different things. And it's been really weird. We've caught a bunch of fish, nothing really big, but the shad spawn did not last a very long time. But, we caught it. We were down there a couple of times, caught it for about 30 minutes, and it was insane for about 20 minutes.
What are your thoughts? I actually called you. So the last time you were at Texoma, I know exactly, because I had Austin Neary on from FishTips.com. Yeah, we're going down this path. I'm conflicted about this. I appreciate his American capitalism gung-ho-ness about it, and I understand how he's probably going to make a pile of money off of this deal.
Yeah.
The casual multi-species recreational angler in me sees the massive potential in this. The die-hard old school tournament angler in me hates it.
Do you remember the conversation we had about this? This is not something new.
I brought that up in the show with them.
Explain.
Okay, you explain to me. So what we're talking about is fishtips.com. Here, I'll pull it up. This, like I said, I'm giving this guy free publicity, but he's also gone through all the steps to do it, right? He's done like videos about like, oh, you guys love to hate me, but thanks for the publicity. I'm not hating on the dude. I mean, the guy's a guide. He's a tournament fisherman. And he knows how to market.
And basically, he's selling waypoints is what he's doing.
He's not. And it's tips, too. There's also, it's just easier to screen it because, like I said, this is interesting. Okay, here it is right here. So here's the first one. Exact baits and locations on how I made money on Pickwick this weekend by Jacob Lang, who's a professional guide. Baits and location on Pickwick Lake leading to 5-pounders, 4-pounders, and many more keepers. Techniques, conditions, and waypoints. And for $40, you can get Jacob Lang stuff. Now, there's all sorts of stuff posted up here. High Rock Juice for consistently catching big bass in the summer. Bull Shoals Crappie Factories in the Theodosia arm. Lake 10 Killer, 1 rock pile and 2 brush piles. Trenton Underwood, a collegiate fisherman. He is selling 1 rock pile and 2 brush piles on Lake 10 Killer for that, quote, summertime bite. And for the low price of $50, you can own the waypoints to that rock pile and 2 brush piles. You can also get June juice for giant smallmouth, lake taps, smallies, and muskie, all sorts of crazy.
So what was the feedback from the fans?
Mixed, very mixed.
Really?
Some people saying, hey, it is what it is. It's already going on. You want to make money, and if you want to be a guy who buys it, it's already illegal if you're at certain levels to buy information, purchase or barter information.
Yeah.
They got no issue with it. Would use it if they went on vacation to a lake. If they went down to Texoma with their son and wanted to know where the stripers were, and instead of calling up or hiring a striper guide, you could get the same type of information for $50 on fishtips.com, plug it in, take your kid there and start catching them instead of having to try to find them. Then you had other people who thought the dude was the Antichrist.
I could see that. What was his response when you told him, hey, dude, this was done 35 years ago?
Okay, so that's a long story to get to that. I did a very abbreviated Cliff Notes version, but what was the fish tips of the dial-up era?
What happened, there was a guy, his name was Richard Altman, and Richard's still around. I think he's in his 80s. He lives on Lake Fork. Richard at one time was heavily involved in bowling and fishing, and he created this 1-800 number. This was 35 years ago. Where you could call, and he actually had it staffed with people in a call center that had all the data on all the network resources that he had put together for people that he trusted, and fed him and his staff information to where it truly was dial-a-bass. So if you wanted to know what was going on at Lake Texoma, you called 1-800, whatever it was, and you say, hey, my name's Mark. I'm interested in getting information on Lake Texoma. Okay, what are you interested in? Well, I'd like to get a largemouth, smallmouth report. Okay, that'll be, back then it was like $10, $15, something like that. Take your credit card over the phone, boom, and then they would tell you exactly what is taking place on Lake Texoma to catch more bass, more largemouth and smallmouth. This thing was enormous. It exploded. All right. And he was enormously successful at it. And then what happened? What do you think happened?
The internet?
Yeah. And
Basszone.com message board?
No. But what was happening is you put a product out like that, there is a lot of trust in that product. So when you put a product out like that and the customer is not getting the expected response from the money that they're paying for. So what happens if I went down to Texoma after paying $15 and the guy told me, well, you need to go in the little glasses and throw a Carolina rig on all the secondary points. And I go down there and I do that and I never catch a fish. You going to go back? But what's even worse is, what are you going to tell your buddy about using that product? So what was happening is people were getting the information. They weren't going out and having success with the information that they were given.
Mm-hmm.
Word of mouth spread. Guess what?
No,
call center
people
closed.
Stopped calling. Now, Austin said that you're basically going to have a ranking system on this, right? So if someone's selling their spots, their tips, their waypoints, and it's hot garbage, and you get out there and it's like, oh, really? You just sold the launch ramp that you could get on and give them a 1-star review.
All right, let me back up a minute. Are we really at the point where, as anglers, either to try and get an edge in tournament fishing or just go out and have a good time, that this sport, this activity, this game of fishing has got to the point where I can't go to the lake without
You can. It's up to you. It's totally up to you on whether you want to use it.
Why do you have to do
Listen,
that? Why not just go fish?
You don't have to do
Go
it, but it
find your own
exists.
fish,
You
for crying out loud.
don't have to do it, but it exists if it's your cup of tea. Listen, I drive past Big Al's every day and choose not to go in for the tapioca lunch special.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It's
just not my cup of tea. It doesn't mean,
Matt,
that I'm judging anybody who spends 11
I
a.m.
get
to
it.
1 p.m. in Big Al's.
I get it. But maybe I'm just a crusty old man. Dude, part of the enjoyment that I have had over the past 3 months being on the water is going out and figuring it out.
I know, but
figuring it
no,
out.
I get that. I 100% get that. And you can still go out and figure it out.
thrill.
You don't have to, then be thrilled.
Now, as a tournament angler, dude, if I ran a tournament trail, I would make that dude off limits. Look, if you're going to get info, I don't care if it's off limits during the practice time, whatever. If you got to dial a bass or type a bass or whatever you got to do, then you know what? You're not fishing our events. That's the stand.
I don't think you could legally buy the stuff for the opens or anything. I think there's a bartering.
Dude, I don't care if it's the Wednesday night jackpot.
You just made
Go find your own freaking
fish.
fish.
Made $2. Rich
You know?
Lindgren, hella bass. He's big. He does his own stuff, but he knows all the little ins and outs. I don't even know how to donate to a chain. He donated $2.
What is going on?
You just got $2 for your rant.
Fish.
You're making money on BTL stuff.
Go find your fish. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. This is BS because I know for a fact when you go to Texoma, you have a guide that you call and you say, hey, what's going on?
No, he is
not?
a striper guy.
Yes, that's the whole point.
This is all I say. This is all I ask him. Hey, man, the bird's running yet? That's what I ask
That's the
him.
whole.
You know why, Matt? You know why? Because of the topwater bite.
I know. I'm sticking up for Austin on this by saying I see value in this. Like I said, the old school tournament angler in me hates this.
Yeah.
The guy who's connected and can call up a buddy and say, hey, where the stripers running on Texoma, because you don't want to go out and you're not there to find the joys of finding striper in 60 foot of water and where they're schooling. You want to go down and start hammering them, right? That's the joy. The joy in that is catching.
When is it a good
if I
time
could
now?
if I could go on there and I didn't know 5 people that I could call, if I'm just a normal guy, if I'm just a normal guy, then I could get on here and for $40, it's worth it if I've got a kid or I've got a buddy to be like, hey man, we're really going to hammer him after I idle for 4 hours.
Yeah.
You think he's going to want to go back out again with you? Hell no. You're freaking 9 packs of peanut butter crackers deep before you even make a cast.
I get it.
That's where I see the value is.
I get it. But like I said, man, I don't care if it's the Thursday night jackpot. If you're getting your info from, the internet.
Holy cow, you just made $4.99. I don't even know how you donate on it. Fishing Adventures $4.99 said I expect 3 waypoints and 2 presentations for this message. I knew you would have a strong opinion on this.
Yeah. I get the business aspect and the aspiration to make money, coming up with this concept and this idea, but it remains to be seen if the information is valuable to where people are going to be repeat customers.
And if it's good. Listen, Gator Adventure says Matt could sell all those crappie spots. I no joke could make one time probably 10 grand doing that.
But you wouldn't do that.
But listen, I'm burning the guys that I've worked with.
Yeah.
I'm burning the lake. I'm burning it to me, the one time. Now I know it changes, but that's a little different. I would have a tough time doing that in anything.
I'm proud of you. I'm glad.
But I don't think it's a bad thing as a whole when you look at it as a whole.
Everybody knows how I feel.
I think it can be very beneficial. Is it everybody's cup of tea? No. But name something that is.
All right. Next one.
We're going to recover from this. Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break. We'll run 2 or 3 ads. And when we come back, we'll deal with the rest of it. And then we will open up questions, ask Jeffries anything for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the 3 giveaways. Sound good?
Yep.
BTL on a Tuesday. Mark Jeffries in studio. We'll be back right after this.
Are you looking to install your own fishing electronics? The solution is the Bass Tank Power Harness. It takes the guesswork out of installation. No more voltage issues or interference. Designed by an engineer so that you can get professional results right there in your own garage. Installation done right with the help of the Bass Tank Power Harness. You can feel confident knowing that your installation was done right. The Bass Tank Power Harness. Give us a call or order yours today at thebasstank.com.
Get the best patterns backed by tournament data. Start by finding the best 10% of your lake. Know exactly what to look for and what to throw. After that, just put them in the boat. Try the Deep Dive app today.
Look at that beast right there.
Have you considered purchasing new electronics for your rig? The type of mounts you choose to protect your investment should be part of the decision-making process. No matter if you prefer 1, 2, or 3 graphs up front, Beatdown Outdoors has a solution for you. Adjustable, versatile, rigid, and made in the USA. What's your ultimate electronics setup? Check out the full selection of Beatdown Outdoors products by visiting beatdownoutdoors.com.
Having confidence in your tackle while on the water is one of the main things to success, in my opinion. In the last couple of years with Denali, I've had just that. From anything from spinning rods, casting rods, tungsten products, even now to casting and spinning reels, I have the confidence to go out there and get the job done and know that all my equipment is going to handle it and do it just the way I want it. The thing about Denali is you've got great quality products at a great price point, so make sure you check them out.
Shoreline Boat and RV, dock rash, storm damage, collision repair, that deep scratch or gouge from trying to access that secret creek. Shoreline Boat and RV can get your prized possession back in mint condition and looking good on the water, fast. All repairs are done in-house, so they're able to get your boat or RV back to brand new, quickly. All Shoreline's work comes with a rock-solid warranty. Find out more at shorelineboatandrv.com. Kansas City, Austin, and Tulsa.
I'm the kind of guy that never leaves the house without a pocket knife, and Gamakatsu's come out with the EDC series of knives. EDC stands for everyday carry, so whether you're on the water or off, you can always have it with you. The best thing about it to me is that assisted open feature. With this D2 blade, you've got it right here at your fingertips, so if you can't find your scissors, you need to cut a knot, you need to cut your braid, you've always got it. Make sure you check it out. Never leave home without your Gamakatsu EDC knife.
Born in Japan, using technology, innovation, and precision, Sunline produces the widest selection of fishing lines at the most technologically advanced line factory in the world. Manufactured at the strictest tolerances to produce victories at the highest levels of tournament bass fishing. From household names like Christie, Swindle, and Cruz, to young guns like Cook, Logan, New, and Welcher, they all trust Sunline to take them to the top of the leaderboard. Choose the line that will give you the strength to guarantee your confidence. Sunline.
All right, we are back. BTL on a Tuesday. Mark Jeffries in studio. Covering a variety of topics tonight.
What's next?
What's next? I would love your opinion on the water confrontations playing out on social media. We've had like 3 or 4 of these things take place. I mean, we had the me and Milliken thing.
Yeah.
We worked that out live on air. It's shocking to me. I know Milliken brings his fan base, but the amount of attention that got.
Yeah. It's a simple solution.
I mean, it's the most views of any BTL show in 17 years, including ones that we've put hundreds of hours into planning.
Look,
for.
man, that is what it is. But you can't have beefs like that. What you got to do is there's nothing like face to face, and this bantering back and forth. Look, man. I'm old school when it comes to, if you got a beef with somebody, you look at them at the eye and you get it worked out.
Doesn't ever make it to social media.
Never.
So
does.
you have the Kupal Bernie Schultz beef that was going on, where the thing went down with Bernie, then Caleb posts the video of it the next day, and then he takes it down, and then he reposts it.
How many times did we see confrontation on the Elite Series?
All the time.
Guys worked it out.
You got the Poche deal where he's taken to social media about his grievances with how Bass has dealt with the situation.
Yeah.
Now, it also would have been really easy for Bass to maybe not give him as much coverage this past week on the Sabine, where he had a good finish. Dude, they pumped him up good. I mean, for a guy who stood on stage and looked over and said, oh,
the whole Chase Anderson.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, Chase Anderson.
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
but see,
that's asking to not get any damn coverage.
What kind of conversation took between him and the, administration?
I want to get Keith back on the show.
I mean,
like I said, I've never said a crossword to Keith. I think he's good for the sport.
Look,
I think he pushes the boundaries. I got no issue with it. I want to get him back on.
Dude, these confrontations on social media, they're stupid. All right. You got an issue with somebody, you go to their house, you go to the ramp.
You go to their house?
Dude, I don't care.
Wait, that's a horrible advice.
You get it worked.
You don't go to someone's house after you have an on-the-water confrontation.
If you're at the tournament and you're staying at a house like a VRBO or what, I'm not talking about.
You deal with it in private 100%.
That's it. And get it taken care of. And you shouldn't have an issue with that individual for whatever the situation was ever again. It's
not fair game now. Everything is out there. Everything's on social media. You want to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is the ugly. This prevents guys from cutting other people off because now they're afraid they're going to get called out instead of behind the stage. You don't subscribe to that theory at all?
No. You get it worked out between you and the individual. If you got to kick his ass, kick his ass.
No one's ever actually kicked anyone's ass except for one time on Kentucky Lake where apparently someone got cold cocked in a weigh-in line.
But you take care of it between you two. You don't go public with it. There's no reason to take it public.
I agree.
You just don't. I mean, what? Clickbait? Is that what we've gotten to when it comes to conflict? Is we try to create a situation where I get more
But did you
views?
not deal with that? Is that not society in the beginning? When you started fishok.com, you went with the Bass-Owned message board.
Yeah.
And how many times did you have someone on the Bass-Owned message board say, meet me in this parking lot, I'm going to kick your ass?
I can tell you a situation right now that happened at Uchi, all right, because that was kind of the first thing that we started covering was that winter jackpot thing. And I go, hey, man, I don't appreciate what you said about me.
You said that to someone?
Oh, yeah. I said, and rather than post something on the
and
message board.
And it was Gene Gilliland?
No.
Oh, okay.
I said, I'm going to walk up to you and I just, tell me why you said it. Let's get it worked out right now, man. I don't want to talk bad about anybody. And you got it worked out then. Now it's all about views and clicks and impressions. And dude, if you got a conflict with somebody, get it worked out.
But what if you make your living off of views and you're showing
then
everything?
Get another freaking job
and you're showing
doing
everything.
The wrong thing.
I think you're wrong on that.
So you should create conflict.
No, you shouldn't create conflict.
So if conflict takes place, rather than taking
I don't
care
think
of the
you.
conflict,
I don't think you leave. I don't think you glorify the conflict.
But then don't
I don't
do it.
think you leave it
the
out.
minute you put it
I don't
on
think
social
you leave
media,
it out.
you just glorified the conflict.
No, you
dude.
don't leave it out, but you don't whitewash it.
Okay, give me an example of that. How would you do that?
If you have a conflict, you have it, but it's not the main focus of your video.
So let's
or
say, all right,
post
real
or
quick,
whatever.
and we're not going to burn a lot of time on this, but think about this. All right, let's say you're fishing an open, and you're in a spot, and it's not really a community hole, but it's kind of a pretty obvious spot. You'll go up there, you caught 15 pounds on there, and you did it early in the morning. Toward the afternoon, you want to swing back by and hit the same spot, and there's a dude sitting there, and you saw that guy watching you when you were absolutely smashing him in the morning. All right? You going to say anything to him, or are you going to keep quiet? Let's say you say something to him.
It just depends.
And then you and him get into it. So what do? Do you take care of it at the weigh-in? Do you go up to the guy?
Take care of it on the water.
All right,
and at the weigh-in.
Done.
No,
it's
I
finished.
agree.
Why do you have to put it on social media then? To just get clicks. You're telling me that somebody is making a living because they are sensationalized something that happens all the time on the water?
But if it happened and it's part of it and it can be and it has to do with it, I see no issue with putting it in. But I what I think is interesting is the stuff after the fact that is strictly just to get the rise.
Whatever. I'm not saying that you have to get into a fist fight or a heated discussion. Just take care of it from a professional aspect. Dude, that happens in bowling all the time. You deal with
wait a second.
You deal
How
with
do
situations.
You get into a beef with someone in bowling?
If you have, there's a thing called a two-lane courtesy, and a lot of times you'll have somebody that walks up on you and you don't give somebody a two-lane courtesy and they get all pissed off.
What's a two-lane courtesy? It's
a two-lane courtesy. In other words, when you're bowling, then somebody that is 2 lanes away from you, the rule is you don't bowl. But some people,
and when they're approaching or whatever?
Yeah, when you're up on the approach getting ready to bowl, you have to give a 2-lane
What's
courtesy.
it called? An encroacher? Like if you're like, Bob jumped my roll. Is it called jumping a roll? Because that would be fantastic if it was. It would be like old Dwayne jumped my roll and I cold cocked him.
That get pissed off all the time.
We were in line getting a natty ice and I cold cocked him.
And you're in a critical situation. The guy needs a double to cut the lead to 1 pin or something like that, and he gets up there and he strikes and he walks back and he slaps it off and he gives you the FU look, and all. Dude, it happens.
Wait,
all
say
the
that
time.
again. Slow it down. That sounded like some.
What?
He
needs a strike to cut the lead to 1,
and he hits it.
And he hits a strike and then he walks back and he slaps it off and he gives you.
He slaps it off.
Yeah, slaps it off like that.
Like
slaps
that?
It off.
Like that. That's called slapping it off.
Yeah.
So is that the equivalent of what is that the equivalent of in fishing? Like you're around someone and some dude goes,
yeah,
booyah,
or
bam!
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Is that the equivalent of that's what I'm talking about when you're within earshot of someone else?
Kind of, but it's the way that people handle those situations discreetly.
And then he stares you down.
That are like throwing that stuff out on social media.
But listen, that's not impacting your role.
That is.
How?
It's that vision that you have, all right, when you approach.
Well, that's just poor mental game then. If that's impacting you, if someone claps you off and it affects your next.
Your vision, your focus, your concentration is focused on that 2-lane courtesy that's given in that span of your vision as you approach the line. Anyway, but the bottom line is this, dude. All right, don't put your stuff in a public situation when it doesn't have to be.
I will say Clay said the Matt Herron where he goes, it's in the box. You see that? That just happened. Do you remember that with Tharp?
Yeah.
I will admit that if I was to pick out one of the most badass comeback scuffles, the Matt Herron boat flipping a 4 and saying that just happened, it's in the box, and slamming the lid down in front of Randall Tharp is probably at the top of my list as far as clap off moments. What do you call it?
Slapping it off.
What? You just you bowling people are dorks.
No, I don't do it, man. I don't do it.
Dorks.
I don't do it.
At least fishing isn't at the bottom of the barrel.
Do it. I don't do it. That is not how I
When
roll.
I went to that bowling deal with you, there were some guys that were walking around that they really were feeling themselves.
Oh, ego exists.
They were really feeling themselves.
Anyway, so hey, I'm a little old school on that. I'm not saying that conflict isn't going to happen. Of course, conflict's going to happen, but I don't think it needs to be sensationalized to where everybody's got.
Oh, there's someone on the instant feedback who has been in a bowling alley throwdown.
Yeah,
I've been in a fight at a bowling alley.
I've seen him. So anyway,
speaking of which, let's get all the bowling talk out of the way. There is a lot of stuff going on. Let's start with what's going on at
Southern Nazarene
at SNU, Southern Nazarene. For those who haven't been keeping up with collegiate bowling,
probably nobody on this show.
Go ahead and just fill everybody once in.
Yeah. I'm not going to bore everybody with this, but it's been really, really cool. I am going to tell a super quick story about a recruiting adventure that I had in Cleveland, Ohio, when I actually got to see Frank and we hung out and went to dinner and had a great time when I was in Cleveland. But anyway, recruiting's constant, but for the most part, it's over. I have 16 players. I have 9 men, 7 women. We're going to be in 10 events beginning in 2023. Very, very excited. You know, I had a basketball coach tell me when I was a player, he said, we could be really good. He goes, then again, we might not be. And that's kind of how I feel about this group on the men's team. We could be really, really good. But then again, we're so young. And with us being a year 1 program, we'll just have to wait and see. But extremely excited, guys and girls. They're all really amped up about getting on campus in August. And then we will crank things up August 12th. And then our first event is in the second week of October. So the season goes from October all the way through the month of April if you make the playoffs.
I will keep everyone up to date. I have the SNU bowling program. Boy, this looks like a 2012 Bass Zone website right here. I see a little bit of green mixed in there too, but you have a full team, men's and women's. We've actually ran. Oh, do you have a SNU women's bowling promo now? You have a promo for the men's and the women's team now. But you've got the women's team, the men's team live, the schedule, the blog. You're an Under Armour school. Yeah. You have a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. And recruiting, I love recruiting. And the quick story that I'm going to tell, and you'll appreciate this, Matt. This first event that I went to in Cleveland was the first one of these events that I had ever been to with this recruiting company. In other words, there's a company out there that actually puts together showcase events, very similar to baseball and basketball and every other collegiate sport, where high school kids are trying to get scholarships. So I knew that everybody was going to be doing the same thing. They all had the dorky bowling balls with their school logo and pins and, giving away Frisbees and all this other stuff. So I did it different. I had jerseys with names and numbers on the back, of which other schools do not do that.
Yep.
I had $250,000 in movie prop money that I had stacked on the table. And you've seen this money before. You cannot tell the difference.
I thought
dude.
It was a little Deion-ish.
All right. You can't tell the
difference. Little Deion Sanders.
All right. But I had scholarship money to get away. It was an attention getter. And then the third thing that was really different is I had 16 hockey pucks, blank hockey pucks. And when recruits would walk up to me, we'd talk a lot. And then obviously they'd look at the cash and then they'd look at the stack of hockey pucks and they go, what's the hockey puck for? And I go, all right, man. I go, what do you call a score when you're playing hockey? What's it called? Well, it's called a goal. You're right. And I'd grab a hockey puck and I had a gold Sharpie and I'd write on the hockey puck, goals are achieved at SNU. Mm-hmm. And I would give the kid a hockey puck and I'd say, look, man, No other coach is going to give you a hockey puck in this bowling center, but you're going to remember me and you're going to remember this program every time that you take that hockey puck home and you put it on your bookshelf. You're going to remember about what we're trying to accomplish as a team.
Ooh.
The feedback that I got from people, even the school that was right next to me, because we all had our table set up, is they were packing up. He looked over at me and he goes, dude, I'm just going to tell you, you kicked our ass today, because all the kids wound up at my table because they wanted to talk. They wanted a hockey puck. They wanted to look at the money.
Well, they heard that the Crimson Storm was building.
So it was an amazing recruiting event. And quite honestly, I have I'm only bringing on 4 more for 2024. I pretty much have verbal commitments really close with 4 kids already on the men's side as a result of that Cleveland event. Could not have went better. So it is a dream job for me. I could not close out my working career doing what I am doing now any better. And hopefully over the next 5 years, and I can make it for the next 5 years, that this program blossoms into one of the leading programs in the nation.
All right, let's bring this full circle. And then
next week, I'm off to Colorado for the PBA 50 Senior U.S. Open. So my first national PBA event of the year.
Christina says that her husband and her love bowling so much that they went bowling for their wedding instead of having a regular reception.
Wow, that's impressive.
Let's bring this full circle. Do you know enough about what the PBT just came down with sponsorship wise? Because this is very fascinating to me.
The PBA?
The PBA.
Yeah.
And very relatable to tournament bass fishing.
Okay. It just came out today. And what they are doing is they are actually creating something, and this is for 2024. And I don't know if you can see this. They might be able to see it. This is an actual jersey. Here, I got plenty of power now. Can they see that, Matt?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
You can see it with the different numbers on the jersey.
So each one of those numbered sections on the jersey, the PBA has created what that area of your jersey is worth. And you cannot sell that portion or that area of your jersey unless you obtain the minimum dollar amount the PBA has set. So like, if I show you again what the jersey looks like area 16, I don't know if you can see that. See area 16 there? All right, now let me look it up on the chart because I don't remember. Okay. Area 16, the minimum you can accept for area 16 is $11,000.
Oh, wow.
And the PBA will not allow you to wear that jersey unless
that sponsor on the jersey.
Unless that contract has been approved by the PBA.
So it would be like bass, you showing up to a tournament at the top level.
Yeah.
And bass saying, if you're going to have AFCO across your chest right here, this spot right here, they have to be paying you at least $12,000.
That's right.
And so you would never have someone who's got AFCO across it just for product or AFCO across it for $5,000. That is the minimum amount for that. And that does not matter whether you're the top bowler or the bottom bowler on tour.
That is correct. That is correct.
So then the other thing that I thought was fascinating was they take a cut of your sponsorship?
No. That was originally a thought, but what they do is they're actually coming off the endemic licensing fees that bowling ball companies have to pay to have their product registered with the PBA. That's where there was a little confusion in that. So basically what they've done is they've created a platform that gives the players a minimum acceptable requirement in sponsorship of which they have to approve. And it's public knowledge now to where everybody knows, all right, well, if you want that spot on your jersey, all right, it's going to cost you 13 grand or 11 grand or whatever. All right. Now you could charge more. That's just the minimum acceptable requirement that the PBA will allow you to wear that company, their brand, their name, whatever, on your jersey. for 2024.
That's good stuff. Lee said that a fishing buddy of his met his wife in a girl bowling alley fight. Shirts were rip off, and he offered one of his jackets, and the rest is history. There's also some. Joe wants to know how many schools have bowling teams.
Do what now?
How many schools have bowling teams?
There are 175 colleges and universities that have bowling teams.
Get your questions into Mark if you guys have any random.
You can ask me anything.
Any random questions?
Fishing,
to
bowling,
Mark.
Hockey, whatever. Hey, when's the last time you played poker?
It's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. Fish and chips, man. That was
What is the status on that? Is there a chance that are you ever gonna have a chance to bring that back?
Maybe. The problem now is our season
is right on top.
Yeah, it would be great to have one of those things to kick off the season, or if the Bass and MLF schedule worked out to where there was a break in a location that we could do it at, because really spring and summer, I'm just recruiting. I mean, I'm traveling. In fact, I've already got trips booked to Nashville. Here, I'm fishing here, Matt. All right, I'm going to Nashville and I'm going to Des Moines, Iowa. If anybody out there wants to take me fishing on these recruiting trips, you just let me know. I think Nashville's in August, and Des Moines, Iowa, actually, I think it's Cedar Rapids, is in July, the end of July.
Man, I'm looking down at what else we have here. Have you been watching the OU women's softball?
Yeah. They're a machine. I watched.
I've never seen anything like it.
I've watched both of the Stanford games.
Yep.
And the dominance. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of KVD when the Sexy Chad was just coming out.
To 2012.
I mean, was that not an epic time for him?
It was, and everyone knew that they were screwed. I've never been to covered an event like that where everyone knew that they were screwed.
And he's leading. Is he still leading? I don't know. When I glanced,
yeah, he had 28 pounds. That's what I was going to pull up now.
Yeah.
Which it's been a minute since he's led. Two guys at the top, Van Dam and Cliff Pace.
Yeah.
Van Dam, Cliff Pace, Jacob Wheeler, Edwin, Mark Davis, Connell, Luke Clausen, Justin Lucas, Littner, and Scott Suggs. Top 10 took 22.15 at Cayuga. KVD has 28.01, and there were 7 bags over 24.
All right, let me ask you this. All the anglers that have come into this game, let's say since the year, I don't know, maybe they're in their 20s now, maybe late teens, early 20s. Do you think that the vast majority of tournament anglers in that age truly understand how dominant Kevin Van Dam was in this game? Or do they even care?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's online now. I mean, I think they've heard the stories. If you're a tournament guy, you know.
Because that period when the whole crankbait thing was going on, that was one of the most dominating periods. It's kind of like what Wheeler's done here recently. It was insane, dude. And I don't know if the young anglers of today truly appreciate how dominating those performances were that Van Dam had. I mean, you're around him all the time. How often does his name even come up in conversation? Rarely.
Yeah, it's still pretty relevant.
Really?
Yeah, he's still pretty relevant. He's I say pretty relevant. He's still the number one dude, man. He's still the guy.
You think so?
100%. Now he maybe has taken on a little bit of a different role.
Yeah.
He's still the guy. He still is the guy. I don't think there's anyone even close still.
You don't think Wheeler's approaching that territory?
No. Kevin is still the guy. I mean, this is supposedly his last year.
Well, obviously. I mean, you had him on, didn't you? You know.
Oh, the day. I mean, I haven't had him on. If you want to get that, Mercer did a couple really good ones with him. But yeah.
Huh.
All right,
I thought about that. I don't know, man. It'd be interesting to get a lot of the young anglers' take, whether or not they've even looked back at at how dominant that his career was. Remember we did that comparison?
Yeah, we did. I need to go back and pull
between
that up. Let's
him and
pull
Wheeler.
some. Let's give away some stuff.
Give it away, my friend.
All right, we're going to start out with 6 packs of the X Zone Stealth Invader. And like I said, I know that there's some fancy app on here that you can go through and it'll be like, it will like automatically randomly pick comments or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm not that fancy. I need an intern. 6 packs of the X Zone Stealth Invader. And X Zone has a lot of good stuff out there too. High quality stuff. And Brandon Polinick, probably one of the faces of X Zone. Oh, actually, they had Carl who was kicking butt, Coop, and then Brandon.
How is Carl? Have you talked to him lately?
Good. I mean, I talked to him after the Sabine. I don't know of anybody that's actually good after the Sabine.
You know, I actually glanced at some of the live coverage that was on Fox on FS1 that day, and they were catching a lot on topwater. That's what caught my attention. Did you watch any of that?
Yeah. I watched a little bit.
It was kind of cool about the essence of all the other crap that was on the river. You know,
there's a lot of stuff
that they were fishing.
All right, I'm going to scroll up, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to scroll up for all these comments, and I'm going to keep scrolling up and down, and you just tell me when to stop, and whatever I stop on is the comment I'll pick.
Okay, stop.
Oh, well deserved here. This was the comment. Clay said, "I'd just be mad if a guy was selling my spot, and if a guy was selling my spot, and I found out it was for sale online." All right, Clay. Clay, shoot me. Clay's gonna be one of those guys. He's gonna get the 6 colors and complain about the colors.
What was that color again? What was the color?
He's gonna be like psychedelic Mandarin. I wanted psychedelic orange. No, I'm just kidding, Clay. Clay, shoot me an email, matt@basszone.com. In the title, put X Zone prize winner.
There you have it.
And I'll get that out. So the X Zones are all gone. I gave away a pack last week. I'll get that stuff in the mail this upcoming week. What are we doing next? Let's do the Spro Chad. This one is this one is actually from Lucky Lure in OKC.
Oh, okay.
I think they still have a couple of the Chad Shads in stock. But this one, I gotten 2 of them. Sid then is going to replace mine. So this is for the $60. This is the 05 threadfin color, which is doesn't that kind of look rainbow trouty to you?
It does a little bit.
Just a little bit, but that's considered the threadfin color. This is a $60. This is a $60 deal right here. Let's see what we got down here in the new comments.
Do I need to tell you to stop?
Yep.
You ready?
Yep. Nope. Now we got people that are just posting Chad. Like I'm saying, we got to be somewhat. But I'll give it to it. I appreciate you.
You know, you could do a trivia question.
Huh?
You could do some type of question.
Do we want to do a trivia question in the first one?
What's the biggest prize you got over there that you're
the
giving
biggest prize is the Novus Pro by far right here. Okay. I mean, the Chad Shad's pretty sought after right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that Novus Pro is probably what kind of question are we talking about here, Mark?
I don't know. Name an original member of the Bass Zone team when it was formed.
No, because that has nothing to do with the professional fishing. That's only then now you're limiting it to Oklahoma people. We'll just do I don't know how to do the random generator on here. I'm sorry, people. It is what it is. All right. I'm scrolling. We're doing
You ready? Stop.
Hold on. I wasn't scrolling. I wasn't even on the comments.
Stop.
Nick Koshmeter said Wheeler is not even close. I think in talking about with Kevin.
Yeah, KGB
Nick
comparison.
wins the Chad Shad.
Nice.
The KGB Chad Shad 180 from Spro. Nick, send me an email, Matt@Basszone, BASSZONE.com. with your contact info and put Spro Chad winner in the title. All right. What do you think of the reel?
No, sweet.
Give it another spin.
Yeah, it's sweet. Super light. What'd you say it was? 7-3-1?
Yeah, let me look it up here.
Very nice.
I don't want to oversell it and I don't want to undersell it. The Novus Pro. Here it is right here. Watch this. Add to stream. Oh, how do I hide current comment? There we go. It is 7-3-1, 9-1 bearing count aluminum frame, drive gear, high strength brass.
Like the handles. The handles are
a composite clutch bar, a dual brake system, a carbon composite cover plate.
Very nice.
I don't know what any of that means. But there it is.
Very nice. So is that what we're giving away?
This is
next.
This is what I have in my hand right here.
Okay.
$200. $200. All right.
You ready?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me keep scrolling. I'm going
up and down.
I'm going up and down. So
Okay.
you just give it a while so I can get a good marinated mix in. And I'm not looking at any of the comments. So just tell me when to stop and all.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Oh, our buddy Steve. His comment though was Mercer looks uncomfortable when Poche is on the stage. That is proof that we did not pick this, but Steve met Steve at the Classic. Doesn't miss a BTL.
Nice.
So Steve, Matt at basszone.com. Put Denali Novus Pro Reel in the description, and I will get that headed your way.
All right, here. I'm going to give something away.
You're going to give something away?
I'm going to give something away. I did a lot of cleaning.
What do you have to give away?
Well, I don't have it with me. It's back in the studio back home, but I did a lot of cleaning and I got a lot of stuff that I ran across.
You were kind of hoarding in the mid 2000s.
Oh, I got a bunch of stuff and I still haven't cleaned out the mezzanine, what's behind the curtains. I have no idea what exists up there. But I'm going to give away an original, all right? An original Bass Zone hat. I found an extra one.
Which one?
An original. It's not even up there, dude.
Well, this is all the collection.
I don't see it.
Not this one?
It's not that one.
Not this one.
It's not that one.
Not this one.
It is that one.
It's
the
this
purple one? Yeah. I think it's the purple one.
Okay. You have one of these?
I have one of the original. It's either the purple one or the purple, white, and black one. It's one of those two.
These are like 1990s.
Yeah, they're 20 plus years old.
The net effect on bass fishing.
That was back when it was Fish OK that was actually the Bass Zone.
The Action Optics Z team.
Yeah. I don't even know if that sunglass company is still around. Are they still around?
Smith? Yeah.
They are.
Dude, I'm working on a really cool sunglass deal that hopefully I have a meeting this week about it.
Yeah.
It's done in principle, but just as far as what we're going to be able to bring to the listeners and viewers, it's just more than just it's a engaging deal.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Here's the other thing. I am going to throw in a plethora of stuff.
Oh crap. Here we go. Used hoodies from high school.
No,
you literally sent a listener a 2X previously worn Oklahoma high school hoodie from a high school you no longer coached at as a prize.
They wanted that.
You sent that to someone as a prize, Mark. You should feel ashamed.
I was not. That was a request. So I'll give somebody away. All you got to do is ask me a question. Matt, pick a good question. Whoever's got the best question for me.
Pick it. There was a couple of good questions early on that we talked about.
I didn't even see it. You can ask it now. Pick a good one out.
Hold on a second.
Hey, somebody did ask me if I miss doing this, and honestly, yeah, I do miss it. I told Matt during the break that the bantering, the conversation, just how we kind of gelled together, the whole oil and water kind of thing sometimes. There's a lot of reflection going on with some of the greatest moments that we've had over all the years that we spent doing this. So yeah, I kind of miss it, but honestly, I am really, really enjoying life now. I love being able to go fish and being able to bowl and being able to coach.
I can't handle the pressure of picking a question, so I'm scrolling again. Just tell me when to stop.
I wanted somebody nobody wants to ask me anything.
Oh, you want a recent question?
Yeah.
A recent question for the hat, the first things.
Yeah. That has a specific question.
Oh, well, now you're fishing for feelings. And like, here's what, are you catching them on top water? What's your biggest tournament fish?
Just pick one. Too much pressure.
Oh, I like this one.
Okay.
We'll end on this one. William wins it. Okay. Mark, what is the most expensive bowling ball you have? I'm curious on how much retail? You spend on. I don't know. Just answer the questions.
Like retail, I don't know, probably a couple $100.
What are there bowling balls like that are reels or like $1,000 for the bowling ball?
No, max is probably a couple $100. They range anywhere. The biggest fee now is when you go into a pro shop is having to pay to get it drilled. It's like $60 now. It's outrageous.
All right, we're gonna do rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire,
because now there's a bunch. Send that email to Matt at Bassone.
No, send it to me.
To Mark at bassone.com. Not one of these hats. These hats go in the studio.
Yeah,
I gotta put them up there. It looks bare now.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do some rapid fire questions. This is not gonna end well. Joe would like to know, what is your one BTL regret?
Not doing YouTube earlier. Honestly. We had that conversation, Matt. It was you and Dave, and you were like, man, we got to do this YouTube thing. And I was all about, no, we got to drive traffic directly to the website. We don't want YouTube getting the benefit of the content that we're creating.
Pooch on that one.
Yeah, that was a horrible mistake.
Tim wants to know when you retire from coaching in the classroom and you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
No more molding the minds of the youth.
No, just the youth that are collegiate bowlers now, and that's it.
My question is, do any of your bowlers have NIL deals?
They do not, but we do have an NIL deal for every player to get equipment.
These are good questions.
Yeah.
You got to just do them quick. How is your bowling going?
3 seconds of fourth and 2 missed cuts.
Yeah, you should quit. What temperature do alewives stop spawning? What's your biggest bass this year?
Biggest one this year? Probably a 5-pounder.
What are the odds of a 7-10 split?
100 to 1.
Is it harder to coach a two-handed bowler versus a one-handed bowler?
It is less difficult to coach a two-hander than a one-hander.
Oh, here's someone on here who says, tell Mark I found Tony Christian.
Matt and I have talked about that.
What's your favorite interview of all time?
Wow, that is that's a good question. Probably face-to-face interview, probably Bob Cobb.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that 20 foot deep.
That was earth-shattering for me, because I grew up with that voice.
Yeah. Bo wants to know why you always wear stripes.
I'm not a solid dude. How many times you ever see me in a solid shirt? Never.
Yeah, that's his question. Why does Mark always wear stripes?
You can't just like solid shirts.
Why?
I like stripes. My jerseys that I wear, what do you think they are? Stripes.
Here's Chris. He says, how's your son's baseball going? Dude, everyone's graduated in the working world.
Yeah. I mean, my oldest son he's a pilot for Delta. And then my youngest son he's one semester. He has 1 semester left to get his MBA. and is a graduate assistant for the football team at Southwestern.
Favorite Carolina rig bait?
A Zoom French fry. How many people use those still?
You.
Nobody.
Mark Edwards would like to know, can you taste and smell?
I cannot.
Not because of COVID, folks.
No, it's not.
It's a poor
from
balance.
my accident. Yeah. Still can't taste or smell.
If you were one, would you be a PGA or a LIV golfer, and why?
I would probably I'd probably be a PGA golfer.
Good answer.
Yeah.
David wants to know your best bowling score is.
3-game set, 827.
But how many perfect games do you have?
24.
24 perfect games,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I don't even want the answer to that one.
Is.
How is
Random
Matt
fire.
doing taking over BTL? Brittany wants to know what your favorite BTL episode is.
Oh, the last show. Matt did a tremendous job putting that together. There were so many people, so many memories. The way that final show went, good grief, it went 4 hours. Other than that show, my favorite show was probably the show that we did from Clear Lake with Harold Allen.
That was a good one. I thought the Kellen Ellis one where he came in with the fish replica
that was really
and
good.
talked about busted Mike Long.
Yeah.
Here's a little housekeeping fishing W. Father's Day coming up. What's a good bowling ball to get?
Wow. Versatility, price, kind of all around. I would suggest a Black Widow Ghost 2.0 hammer.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah. Hammer Black Widow Ghost 2.0.
How'd you get into the strawberry cereal?
I can't taste anything.
Yeah, why did
because it's weird because I can detect and I gather texture, and there was something about that strawberry cereal that was good texture.
Listen to this. Paul threw a French fry on Saturday. Irison has a ton of Zoom French fries.
Awesome.
Baxter, the Zoom French fry is legit.
It is.
Chris, I use the Zoom French fry.
That's awesome.
Daryl, me love the fry.
You ever thrown a French fry?
Just with you.
Could it work? Let me ask you this. Could it work on a Ned rig?
A Ned works better on a Ned rig, but it could. Yeah. It's just a chunk of plastic. Are we ready to cue up the music? You got to drive an hour home. It's been a long day here.
I thought you were going to take me to dinner, man.
You want to go to dinner? Half the stuff is blown away.
I haven't ate it all. So
okay.
I'm kind of hungry.
We can do that. 8:40 in the evening, dude. I greatly appreciate you taking an evening out of your time.
I have one last question for the fans.
All right.
I haven't done it. What are we in? June? I haven't done one all year.
I'll slowly fade the music back
Do
out.
you want me to do another Mark After Dark? It's not going to be scheduled. It's going to be one of those random things where I'm in the studio or I'm working late and I'm just going to go live. If you missed any of the Mark After Dark, I think I've done 2 since I retired.
They were something.
Yeah. So if you want another Mark After Dark, who knows, sometime this year, just throw it on the comments and maybe I'll make that happen. We'll see. Dude,
yes. Everybody's saying yes right now.
Thank you, Matt. You're doing
just awesome show. Do more shows.
Fantastic. You're doing a fantastic job. The quality and one thing that we built this thing on was the journalistic integrity of covering this sport the way that I felt and we felt that it should be covered from a journalistic
pushed the
perspective.
Limits recently, but we'll get back to it.
You still got
we'll
that,
get back
man.
to it.
You still have that edge, and that's what makes this brand different than all the other.
I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I'm doing shows that I'm enjoying. Hey, how about we do a little change of headgear to take us out on the show there, Mark?
What do you mean?
A little change of headgear right there to just take the show out.
You said that I look good at this.
You did. I recently was
What do you think?
I was recently down in Texas and I found one. Here, let me see.
It fits pretty good. You look good in it, man. I look like
No, you look.
Oh man.
Yeah, you look like some of your cattle just got out. I'm
That
still
is
not
styling,
super
man.
comfortable enough to wear it. Like
It looks pretty good.
wear it all the time. I'll get to the point.
Yeah.
Where I'll be able to go to Billy Bob's. I got a couple of Red Dirt concerts coming up.
It looks good, man.
But yeah, throw that back on and then take us out. Take us out of the show. No, you're not. All right. Well,
I'm
take
good.
us out on the show. We got the music queued up. We got everybody talking about it. But you wanna end this one?
I'll end this one. Big thank you to all the fans. Appreciate you putting up with me being back behind the mic, and continue to support this guy. He's doing a great job. Folks, that's it. We're out of here.